Good day, everyone, especially to you, sir. Good day. So, by the way, I am Regina Tabati. I came from Umagas Nagonglong, Misamis Oriental. Today, I would like to report. So, my topic is all about different ways to show Filipino sense of nationalism. So, Filipinos had already shown their own way of nationalism in the Spanish colonial period. So, some fought with their pins and tongues, while others used their arms and weapons. Authority, everyone had their own way to showing our country their love and respect. So, some even uh, died and were able to get back our country's freedom that we enjoy nowadays. Um, but we have noticed how some Filipinos demonstrate their feelings of nationalism nowadays. Um, you could read some thoughts in the portion about how some Filipinos shows our nation their nationalism. So, to show our sense of Filipino nationalism, everyone must work, act, participate, respect, stand proud, and love. So, let us work on our own act today and participate in the government. So, respect everyone, including others' race. Stand, stand proud for who you are. Love everyone as how you expect they would love you back. So, first is respect in the Philippine flag and value Filipino identity. So, being Filipinos, we should respect your Philippine flag and its purpose, the history and value of this flag are connected to the freedom we have today. So, encourage our fellow men to participate and respect our flag and its anthem and even our different symbols. They provide us our identity to Filipinos or citizen of the beautiful Republic of the Philippines. So, um, second is be productive. So, do not rely on everything and then blame our government, but instead make yourself product and helpful to the nation because some of the Filipinos are blaming the government for any adverse things our nation would strike. Through through there are some corrupt political position holders, um, but they're not all. The only issue here is that we really too much on our government then blame them afterwards. We should learn to stand on our own feet and be productive and helpful not only for ourselves but also for everyone. Three is be aware of the issue in our country. We cannot be aware and updated on the significant issues happening in the country. Extend help to the needy fellow men, especially the victims of disasters like typhoons, flooding, and the like. Naturally, all of us use media in our daily life. We could already demonstrate our nationalism to our nation by using this media. Some of our fellows Filipinos use the authority of the press to their um, to extend their assistance to others. The past calamities that hit our nation, they publish some data about how other individuals might be able to assess disaster affected individuals. So, fourth is stand proud for everyone achievement. Filipino are competitive in many ways around the world. They are proud to be Philippines, mm, and to be brought to the nation for the awards. For their accomplishments, they unite every Filipinos. We can be proud of Filipinos like Manny Pacquiao, the football team of Ascals, the basketball team of Gilas Pilipinas, and many more. Fifth is patronize and support our own products. The Philippines has rich resources to create quality goods and products. The manpower services we provide are also globally competitive. Our economy will improve more if we ourselves patronize our own products, which characterize our creativity, resourcefulness, and industry. In spite Filipino um, migration all over the people, all over the globe, nationalism is also self-evident. Millions Filipinos now support goods and products made by the Philippines. So, outside the Philippines, everything is feasible with the emergence of a world economy based on information driven by the free trade, market economy, and open capital markets. So, the Philippine products live up the standard of quality in on the all modesty. So, six is preserve the Filipino culture. Philippine is rich in various colorful cultural elements. They are our identity. Be proud and preserve the culture we have. Mm, for they are our treasure. We have to keep them for the future generation. Migrant Filipinos who have particularly grown most of their life overseas almost always return to the Philippines to explore our lively beaches and the future attractions. A nation with 7,107 islands offers Filipinos maintain a periodic TFC or the Filipino channel subscription to get in mm, contact with every Filipino. Forget about homesickness while overseas and instead the Filipino values that we see on their television. So, seven is respect everyone and value our traditions. Filipino are every courteous and respectful. You will acknowledge a Filipino individual everywhere you go because he or she has always been respectful of the elders and others using the common but certainly classic who, ho, opo, and opo. Even in the modern times, many Filipinos shown and value their noble norms and traditions. Although Filipinos overseas have held themselves on the peak of their interest in the prism of, of a political, social, and economic liberty. So next is speak out our own language. Using our own language in manifesting and preserving our national identity. It is our unique means of communicating and interacting with our fellow men. Our language is an important tool to achieve further unity and national development. So, nine is remember and um, commemorate our heroes' sacrifices for our country. There are many Filipinos who died for our democracy, freedom, and independence. Some fought using their pins and tongues, while some used the power of their arms and weapons. Each had their own um, way to showing the love and respect for our country. In today's generation, let us value and appreciate for heroes' sacrifices and devotion for our country. So, 10 is love our family, our neighbors, and our countrymen. The essence of life for most Filipinos is to create their family, uh, a nation apart of their enduring engagement. So, they may even express their dedication to unpopular choices born to advantage the majority. We are strongly committed to our obligations, Filipinos. Create in all-out effort to work and make private sacrifices around the clock um, over the weekend hard work. These values combined with an abundant reservoir of patience have been inculcated by our beloved parents to our youthful minds. So, next is Philippine symbols that promotes a sense of nationalism. Symbols are very important to people in quite a lot of countries, especially if these symbols are related to a sense of nationalism. The officially recognized national symbols of the Philippines are the Philippine flag with red, white, and blue colors and yellow sun representing the provinces of the country. Second is coat of the Philippines, also featuring the yellow sun with its rays depicting the original provinces in the Philippines. So, next is Lupang Hinirang or Chosin Land, the Philippine national anthem. Four is Sampaguita or Hasminum Sambe. So, the national flower of the Philippines symbolizing purity and simplicity. The flower is small, white, and pleasant fragrant. Five is Nara or Pitocarpus. Pyrocarpus or the national tree of the Philippines, also known as rosewood. It is strong, sturdy, and durable, a common rainforest tree. Six is Philippine eagle or Pithecopaga gyriferae, the Philippine national bird. It is acknowledged to be severely endangered. The Philippine eagle is to protect by law in the country under extreme punishment for any harm done to them. So, 7 is Dr. Jose Rizal, the national hero of the Philippines. Number 8 is Carinyosa or Tinikling. The Philippine national dance of wistfulness is symbolized by the dance. 9 is Carabao, water buffalo. The Philippine national animal. It symbolizes industriousness and hard work due to its use on many farms in the country. 10 is bangus, milk or make milk fish. The Philippines national fish symbolizes versatility because of the many ways in which it can be cooked. So, next is mango. The national fruit Philippines mangoes are considered the sweetest fruit of the world. 12 is barong, the Philippine national costume or clothing style for men. Untucked shirt or thin fabric displaying Chinese, Indo, Malayan, tropical, and Hindu influences. For women is barut at saya, skirt or blouse with no collar. So, next is Bayan Ko and Pilipinas Kung Mahal are the Philippine national songs. So, 14 is Arnes, the Philippine national sport or stick fighting. 15 is Anahaw or Livistona rotundifolia, the Philippine national plant. The national plant is often used to hat, umbrella, or fan symbolizing the Filipinos' resourcefulness. 16 is Nipa hut or the Philippine national house, a typical of a smooth bamboo house with a thatched roof. So, next is important dates, events, and persons in the rise of Filipino nationalism. The opening of the Philippines to world commerce on 1834, Manila was officially part of the world commerce after reviewing the different economic policies 1834 to 1873. This is the period of the development of agriculture in the country because foreigners shared their agriculture's ideas. Various ports opened in 1855 in Sual, Pangasinan, Iloilo, and Zamboanga. In 1860 in Cebu and in 1873 in Tacloban. So, how some Filipino become illustrators. So, the middle class of the illustrators were the educated Filipinos who, by writing essays, articles, novels, or publication in news journal called La Solidaridad, or campaign for reform in the Filoni or the colony in a peaceful way. So they are made of the Principalia, or those belonging of the Spanish or Chinese mestizos indigenous to Filipino or upper class. Their families were inquilinos who leased property to the friars' agricultural production involved during Philippines' opening to the world trade, which lead them to become rich. They are able to improve their social status and send their children to European schools. They later clamored to reform and equality, and their children became a propaganda movement's members. So, influx of liberal ideas. Suez canals opening shortened the distance between the Philippines and Spain. This paved the way to liberalism to enter the nation. So, Europe brought liberal concepts such as equality, freedom, and brotherhood. And the establishment of the Spanish Republic. More Spaniards came to our nation and imparted liberal thoughts on the Philippines. So, they carried liberal books and magazines of them, not only in Manila, but also in the provinces of occupied possessions and municipal government. Um, the amount of Spaniards in increasing with a concern improve materials, wealth and gains social are increasing. Colonizers keep the Filipinos uh, tightly protected. So next is secularization movement. This transfer of parishes to the Filipino priest from the Spanish friars was one of the effects to Europe's spreading of liberal ideas. So, there are two types of priest. So, regular priest or friar grades, they belong to the specific religious order like Dominicans, Jesuits, Augustinians, Franciscans, and Recollects. So, only Spanish priest could be regular priest. So, second is secular priest or parish priest. Oh, there are priests were not religious order and were under the archbishop's oversight. So, in 1565, religious order took control the parishes in the Philippines. These are the Augustinian, Recollects, Dominican, and Franciscan. So, counter of trend. It was stated that the secular priest should control the parishes relates to deacons and priests who are not monastics or members of a religious institute. But few secular priests are accessible because some of them have been sent to America. So, Father Pedro Pilais in 1862 exposes the discrimination of Filipino clergy and the racial and national conflict with the friars. In 19th century, majority of the Filipino priests were qualified as secular priests. Governor General Carlos Maria de la Torre y Navacerrada, he was the one who both boast and inspired the secularization movement and leads as a liberal regime in Spain. Next is Rafael de Lacerdo in 1870 to 73, a Governor General of the Spain Republic who is an autocratic and impressive ruler, replaced Governor de la Torre. So, January 20, 1872, 200 Filipino troops and employees, led by Sergeant Fernando La Madrid, who took control the Spanish arsenal in Cavite, mutinied against Spaniards. Governor Izquierdo sent troops forward to quench the rebellion. So, next is Francisco Zaldúa, a Bicolano soldier who testified against the Gamborza. February 17, 1872, the day of execution of the three priests at Luneta o Bagumbayan. Gamborza refers to the three martyrs, Father Mariano Gomez, Father Jose Burgos, Father Jacinto Zamora. Father Mariano Gomez is a Chinese Filipino born in Cavite who held the most senior position of the three as Archbishop Vicar in Cavite. He has truly nationalistic and accepted the death penalty calmly as thought it were his penance for being pro-Filipinos. Father Jose Burgos was a Spanish descent born in the Philippines. He was a parish priest of Manila Cathedral and had been known as the close of the liberal Governor General de la Torre. He was 35 years old. At the time, he was active and outspoken of advocating the Filipinization of the clergy. He wrote and defended seculars and was known to weep like a child. Father Jacinto Zamora was also Spanish born in the Philippines. He was the parish priest of Marikina and was known to be unfriendly to and would not countenance arrogance or unattractive behavior from Spaniards coming from Spain. He once snubbed a Spanish governor who came to visit Marikina. Issues on the street is issues on the street priced. On the three priced, Father Gomez participated in secularization but no longer active in 1872 and he was already more than 80 years old. Father Burgos involved in the issue of secularization. Father Zamora, victim of mistaken identity, since the warrant of arrest was addressed to a certain Jose Zamora, a known critic of Spanish government at that time. Next is the importance of 1872 Gamborza execution. It is considered as the beginning of Filipino nationalism in the Philippine history because the three priests were innocent yet accepted the brutal punishment for the nation. Next is propaganda movement or reform movement, also known as Junta de Propaganda, Cuerpo de Compromisarios and La Solidaridad, was founded in 19th century by the Ilustrados to improve the lives of low-income Jews through reforms uh, through reforms of changes implemented in the colony. The founder were Dr. Pedro Paterno and Gregorio Santiago, doctors of law who lead the foundation of the movement in Madrid. Next is propaganda. It is refers to systematic efforts to spread opinion and beliefs by means of pin and tongue. Literally means the propagation of a given opinion. Next is propagandist or reformist. The, these were the Filipino reforms who fled the country to escape persecution in 1872. They didn't have the intention of achieving social changes through armed struggle and revolution, rather they campaign for reform. There are ghosts of propaganda movements. Next is to make the Philippines, the province of Spain, the Filipino representation in the Spanish Cortes. So, 3 is equality between Spaniards and Filipino. 4 is secularization and granting Filipinos rights, the right to hold parishes. 5th is gaining freedom of speech, expression, and assembly. So there are major causes for the establishment of the propaganda movement. The following causes the creation of the propaganda movement is emergence of middle class, the liberal administration of Government General Carlos Maria de la Torre y Nava Cerrada. Next is execution of Gamborza, resulting to the deportation of patriotic Filipinos. So, there are 3 leading reformers in 19th century. Dr. Jose Rizal, Graciano Lopez Luna, Graciano Lopez Haina, Marcelo H. Del Pilar. Dr. Jose P. Rizal, regarded as the conscience of the movement and the most prolific writer among the propagandists. Uh, his um, his pen names are Dimasalang and Laan, commonly known and acclaimed as the father of Philippine nationalism, due to intellectual of idealistic support for the Philippine independence. For him, Spanish colonial system itself should blame and the unfortunate state of the Filipinos and the colony. So, next is Marcelo H. Del Pilar, who was regarded the greatest journalist and reform movement. Born on August 30, 1850 in San Nicolas, Bulacan. So, he used his grandmother's surname based on Governor General Narciso Claveria's degree in 1849. Filipinos should adopt the Spanish uh, short, uh, surname. He studied Latin in Manila and successfully obtained the degree in Bachelor of Arts in Colegio in San Jose. So, next is uh, Graciano Lubis Haina. He was born in Zaro, Iloilo in December 18, 1856. His parents encouraged him to become a priest. However, Graciano wanted to become a doctor. He left a seminary and enrolled in the School of Medicine and University of Santo Tomas. But due to financial difficulties, he wasn't able to finish his medical degree and forced to go back in Iloilo. The poor people of Iloilo consulted him to medical problems. He started the campaign for freedom in 1874 by writing Fray Butud. Lahia de Fraile means big-bullied friar. In his work, he revealed the gluttony, condolence, and greediness of friars as represented by Fray Butud. So, that's all. Thank you.